It's 11 past 6 a.m. in South Africa. I'm just recording a video. Just recording thoughts as and when I get them. Okay, so what I'm noticing is that when we go to sleep, our subconscious mind takes over. So it appears as though our dreams are emanations of our subconscious. So a lot of the time, fearful dreams are just emanations of your subconscious fears. It seems as though what has been happening is that we've been running through a cycle of energy throughout the day. And it seems as though when we go to sleep, we enter sort of like this unconscious / subconscious layer within ourselves. And I suppose that's when all our fears and our tensions and our regrets and whatever the case may be, or hopes and excitement, start essentially manifesting into a dream. And then when you wake up, whatever you had subconsciously expressed within your body that evening, without knowing because you're asleep obviously, it seems to linger throughout the day, okay? Because obviously if you have a certain dream makes you feel a certain way, you'll wake up feeling that way, and that sets the energetic tone of your day. And then that can leave us waking up quite angry, quite upset, quite frustrated, for whatever reason, because of our own fears that somehow got expressed. Even if you don't remember dreaming, your subconscious is still kind of active when you're sleeping. So, you may be having all of these feelings and you wake up and you're like in a super unsure mood or whatever, and you sort of get a bad feeling like something bad's gonna happen, blah, 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 blah. And then that sets the tone for the rest of your day, and then you may have a miserable day because of that. But it appears as though after the morning, this energy actually seems to go away once it gets around about 11, 12. And then there's this afternoon energy, and then the night energy, and then everything cooling off in the evening. So it's interesting because every single day we go through this pattern, So go to sleep, maybe subconscious fears, whatever, wake up sort of a bit grumpy, frustrated, still sort of getting your conscious mind to wake up because your subconscious dream state is now lingering into your day. So it takes us a little bit of time to wake up. So I think around about 11 or 12 when we actually truly wake up, at least now anyways, our brain starts to finally be on and active. And once that happens, the subconscious fears go away because our conscious mind is now fully in effect. So I believe maybe when we wake up, we still may be in that unconscious mind. And then that's why we feel like we're more prone to feeling like, regret and fear and worry and anxiety and whatever the case may be. And then it eases up in the afternoon, depending on your lifestyle, I suppose. But because I'm living this lifestyle, I'm observing. My mind is and my body and my life is my laboratory. So I'm essentially running tests and conducting research ultimately. And paying very close attention and then reporting to you guys. So be conscious that when you wake up, there is a great potentiality that your subconscious mind is still in effect, and it could be the reason why you're waking up feeling all sorts of unfavorable feelings and making all sorts of unfavorable assumptions and whatever the case may be. Also within regards to your dreams, you must remember there are dreams. I know some people have precognition dreams, but precognition dreams are never so totally accurately to the detail. I think most dreams are really actually subconscious manifestations that happen within our own mind. Funnily enough, you'd be so surprised what the mind can do. Subconsciously, it can create weird stuff, based on your own energy, based on your own psychology. So I guess never underestimate your subconscious mind. So when you wake up, like now, I'm still sort of like waking up. My brain's not fully active. And so I'll wake up a bit fearful, a bit anxious. And then now that I'm becoming more conscious, I know that, okay, the reason these feelings are popping up is because when I went to sleep in my subconscious state, I must have been expressing certain hidden subconscious, hidden or known subconscious fears within my mind that express themselves in whatever instance. And I still waking up, and then you're feeling those energies, because it's almost like our subconscious mind sort of just guesses what's going on. And guessing is pretty dangerous, because like you can guess the worst thing, right? And then feed your brain a lie or multiple lies your whole life, and literally affect your emotional state the whole time off of a lie, right? So basically, it's very good to realize that, listen, this is just my subconscious fears or resentments or whatever the case, just popping up. And this applies to any single detail in your life, to do with your well-being, to do with your living, your family, whatever the case may be. Because we may have many fears, and whatever time it is we're in our life, it determines which fears we may be more so subconsciously focusing on without even really realizing it. So knowing this, it's important to basically be aware that when you wake up, give yourself time to realize that, okay, these are basically just subconscious fear-based emotions that I can push aside. I don't need to feel them now, and I don't need to investigate or explore them to come up with some sort of narrative or story within my mind in order to validate the reason as to why it is that I'm feeling these feelings right now. I can go ahead and safely say that these feelings are occurring because of certain subconscious fears and stuff that I have still lingering around within my psyche. Okay? So, when you realize that, your brain starts switching on, and now you're no longer in that subconscious state. The subconscious state is like that dreamy state, and you get all angry and stuff, and blah, 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 or frustrated. It's almost like being drunk, kind of, right? Because you're not fully conscious, right? And once you get sober, you're like, oh, actually, I overreacted. I was totally wrong, or whatever the case may be. I overreacted. Because that's why people get too drunk when they're angry and are quick to think someone's pointing fingers at them, or whatever the case may be, because they're not completely, totally conscious. If they're completely, totally conscious, they'd be super duper aware enough in order to be able to see that what they may have thought was happening is not actually happening. So it's the same thing when you wake up from these dreams and are still in these subconscious fear-based energies. You can realize that, be like, wait, these are subconscious fear-based energies. They're not. I don't have to take them so seriously. And once you realize that they're caused by subconscious fears, they slip away and they fall away, and then you start reprogramming your own behavioral patterns so that each time you wake up, you get used to not waking up in that subconscious like lull states, but you can actually get used to waking up consciously, and maybe even one day sleeping consciously, so that you're somehow able to program you are in your waking state. You're always programming your subconscious state, so you're always programming your dream state. And then when you wake up to your waking state, I suppose it is whatever thoughts you currently have right now are programming, and whatever's in your purview of ideas in your life, whatever's happening in your life now, based on and how you're thinking about it, that's like directly determining your subconscious state, I suppose. So you're programming your own subconscious state, which is very important. I believe this subconscious state can be likened towards the neocortex, because it's responsible for autonomous behavior ultimately. And I would actually go ahead and say that the neocortex is actually responsible for our subconscious behavioral patterns. I believe the whole brain works in tandem, actually. I don't think these guys have managed to... Like, there's divisions within the brain, but the whole brain works together simultaneously, I suppose. Although the limbic system does shut down in fear-based states. Oh, I see. So when you wake up, your limbic system's actually coming online. So you may wake up in what they call a reptilian brain, a survival-based mindset, living in a subconscious field. The subconscious field brings about the fear, because it's like the field of the unknown, right? But with our temporal lobe and our limbic system, and then the reprogramming of our neocortex and the rest of our, I mean, of course, these are just neurological terms. I believe consciousness and memory exist beyond physicality and physiology. Like it does. Memory does not actually exist in your brain. That's the crazy part. That's what I found out. Memory actually exists in light and frequency. And that light and frequency doesn't need physicality in order to be there. That's the funny thing. Although our body is physical and works within regards to light and frequency, that's why our neurons are firing light throughout your brain continually as you go through different brainwave cycles and patternings. So, the message of this video is when you wake up, realize it's just your subconscious field. Realize you don't need to take it so seriously. Realize you just need to wake up more. Put the anger aside, put the frustration aside. And this is, of course, me telling you this video is what I'm learning, right? In my own laboratory, teaching myself how to not wake up in these certain states because of whatever subconscious dream state I entered during my sleep based on whatever's happening within my life or whatever I think is happening in my life. And then to basically wake up and to realize, well, whatever I think is happening is not actually happening. My limbic system shut down, meaning that I don't have higher reasoning ability right now. Because when your limbic system shuts down, hey PG, when your limbic system shuts down, you don't have higher reasoning ability. Yeah. So we actually are unable to make accurate assessments or assumptions at all. So it's better to actually wait for your brain to wake up, not to feed into the nonsense or the rubbish of how the morning feels. And then boom, bam, bam, you'll be good. And then you'll start reprogramming your mornings and maybe even your sleep, so that when you go to sleep and your waking state throughout your day. And this is the goal, is feeding ourselves positivity, making sure that we're not operating in fear-based states that limit our perception, shut down our limbic system, and do not allow us to access the higher reasoning capability within our mind. You see, it's 6:11 now, and my brain's now starting to work on. So it's switching on now. So my first objective was to essentially stabilize my energy through stabilizing my psychology. So wake up, doing this video, running through these thoughts throughout my head, recording it for you here. As I say, I'm investigating and researching and sharing with you very useful and helpful knowledge. Because if you can wake up every day getting into a super good energy, that will set the tone for the rest of the day. That will also set the tone for when your brain starts, when you go to sleep and you start running through subconscious sleep cycles. And then which bleeds into your waking up cycle, which bleeds into your waking state cycle throughout the day. Because I would say, according to the sun, according to the time of the day, it also appears as though our brains have been running through different cycles. Funnily enough, it's quite weird. It's strange. I believe we can break past the cycles though, and that's where my research is basically leading me. Because right now what I've done is I've essentially broken through the cycle. I woke up feeling a certain way, it wasn't too good. And so basically that's why I started thinking all the stuff that I've just shared in this video now. And basically I've realized that, yeah, the brain is off. So switch the brain on before you start making any assumptions or trying to make any assessments. And then that will lead to you not having to make any harmful negative assumptions that aren't true, because fear is false evidence appearing real, and an unconscious state is likened to fear because it's the unknown. But anyway, that's enough for this video. Check you guys soon. Thanks. And join Patreon private blog. Thank you.